April 28th is Workers' Memorial Day in the United States. The original day was the 1983 brainchild of the person who got me into health and safety, a man named Colin Lambert, and his friend Ray Sentes, who died of asbestosis at 56. The Canadians were angry that friends and co-workers were killed on the job or died because of it, without the kind of public ceremonies held for police officers and firefighters. The canary was a symbol of these preventable deaths. In 1984, the Canadian Union of Public Employees adopted their idea to bring attention to workers' deaths, illnesses, and injuries. 2 years later, it persuaded the Canadian Labour Congress to declare the first day of mourning for workers killed, injured, or disabled on the job. April 28th was chosen because it's the date when the country's first workers' comp law passed. In 1989, U.S. unions borrowed the idea, giving it a different name. They kept the date since the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or OSHA, first opened its doors on April 28, 1971. Workers' Memorial Day now stretches into a week of activities in some places. There are posters to deliver messages and call people to marches, and monuments, like this one from the IBEW in Atlantic City. There are events and reports. WorkSafe's latest is out tomorrow. They all are efforts to remember that statistics are people with the tears wiped away, as others have said. Globally, trade unionists and others now call April 28th the International Workers' Memorial Day. They too use posters, hold demonstrations, and demand changes, this year reminding us about the consequences for families. Workers in Houston are holding their first ever vigil this year, and others in places like Brazil, Rwanda, New Zealand, and Korea have plans too. We don't know about all the work-related deaths in the United States. We do know that in 2012, at least 150 people died each day because of their work. 4,400 lost their lives right on the job, the obvious fatalities. At least another 50,000 died of less obvious occupational diseases. The map pinpoints places where many of the known construction worker fatalities occurred in 2011. Remembering them and others close to us can be done in various ways. One tradition is poetry.
This is a poem written by Susan Eisenberg, an electrician from Boston. Susan's been looking into the deaths of tradeswomen over the years, and she's constructed a website about it. It's called Go Getter. Another night, running through wind squalls, fast as fast can, trying, almost flying, to reach 1996, 24 September, Kenosha County, Wisconsin. But I'm late, again. Already, a circle of Carhartts surrounds EMTs as they finish their futile business, carrier pigeons already in flight with capsules of half-truths. I wake exhausted. All day, phone calls unanswered, dishes pile up, a brief nap, ready myself for tonight, maybe the weather more in my favor. I pack my cliches. Leave the money on the table, your girls need you, don't be too proud to walk away. But she's a go-getter, a single mom, ironworker, pre-apprentice, wants this chance, has 1 month to prove herself or be bounced. Just a few weeks in the trade, and she thinks the guys voted her their safety spokesperson. She's that green. Everyone else on the site would know the physics. Know not to install metal roof decking on a windy day. She asks for a safety harness, senses the danger, turned down. Didn't use them in 1996. Her two gloved hands pick up a stiff sheet. The wind tries to snatch it. Her grip tightens. She wrestles it back. She's a go-getter, a single mom, wants this chance, only 1 month to prove herself or be bounced. This time I'm there when the wind sneaks up from beneath, her boots scrambling to grab the roof. She turns. I catch her face as her mind switches to slow channel. Her two girls, her two girls, her two girls. She gets it now. Gets it all now. Human kite, not green anymore. This is just one story of a tradeswoman who died on the job or because of her work. And we want to tell you a few others today.
Kat Engel, a journeyman electrician from IBEW 46, was known for her passion to help and encourage people in need to achieve inclusion in the electrical industry and diversity. She was experienced, hardworking, a serious electrician, but despite her qualities, she was laid off many times for being a 5'2" woman with a few gray hairs. Before getting into the trade, she earned her master's degree in fine arts and public health. She was admired for her diverse skills and interests. She was generous and kind, going out of her way to help others, especially apprentices, get their tools, mentoring injured workers, or helping a worker who's a victim of domestic violence. On November 20th, 2008, while working alone on a metal platform, doing lighting maintenance at a glass manufacturing plant, Kat was electrocuted and died. She was found by a union brother who was working on the same site. The Kat Engel Foundation has been established in her memory to support those seeking to become union tradesmen and to continue Kat's work with apprentices and safety. A reminder that no worker's voice shall be silenced, nor their memory extinguished.
Vanessa Downing, a 26-year-old operating engineer, local 302 apprentice, was due to become a journeyman within weeks. She had built a new life for herself, transitioning from being part of a community of homeless teens to being determined to journey out and become a leading woman in construction. In just 4 years, she went from homeless to homeowner. Her spontaneous personality, vibrant energy, joy in her new life, and compassion for society's throwaways made her an inspiring role model, always willing to help others. On June 24, 2010, Vanessa was aboard a construction barge, crouched over, welding on a guardrail stanchion, working in the crane operator's blind spot, when she was struck in the head by the barge crane and killed. Vanessa touched many lives and is remembered for the energy she brought into this world and how much she lived through in just 26 years. In one of her final Facebook messages, she summed up her new attitude toward life. With a big enough bar and the right fulcrum, I can lift this whole world.
Roxana Margarita Zelaya. Roxana Zelaya had been hired as a contract worker for the Science Center construction project of Georgetown University. At 8 a.m. on March 16, 2011, while operating a lift platform in an underground loading dock area, Roxana became pinned between the scaffolding and the overhead railing. When emergency personnel arrived, her coworkers were performing CPR. But at age 37, Roxana died from her traumatic injuries that she sustained in the accident.
Catherine Baylor. At 32 years old, Catherine was working as a certified repairman at the coal-fired power plant where she had worked for 5 years. On December 20th, 2011, while performing maintenance on a boiler, the power hand tool she was using kicked back and struck her in the head. She fell 85 feet from the platform she was working on to the floor below. She was taken to the hospital where she died from her injuries. A short while later, she left behind her husband, children, parents, sister, and extended family.
Kathleen K.C. Wilson. Friends and family knew her as K.C., mother, grandmother, sister, daughter, aunt, and beloved friend. K.C. became her company's first female foreman. Her attention to the quality of her work was surpassed only by her dedication to the safety and well-being of her crew. Casey had a hand in constructing nearly every mile of the Southern Oregon Interstate Corridor. She took great pride in her work and loved that she helped pave the way for countless travelers over many years. On August 14, 2013, Casey stopped her pickup and arrow board trailer on the right shoulder of the interstate to take down a portable sign on the other side of the guardrail. And even though the caution lights and flashers were activated, a truck pulling a semi-trailer sideswiped her vehicle, pushing her trailer over the guardrail and striking Casey. At the age of 60, she died at the scene.
Dia Lauritsen. At 35 years old, Dia was working as a laborer for a construction company in the Iowa town where she was born. Remembered for her unforgettable smile, Dia came from a large family and loved singing, being an aunt, and working with children's programs at her church. On July 5th, 2013, she was part of a crew that was working on a sewage line for a housing project. While working in a trench nearly 10 feet deep, Dia was crushed to death when it suddenly collapsed. It took rescue workers 3 hours to dig her body out of the thick clay. She was survived by her mother, 5 brothers, 5 sisters, and many nieces and nephews.
Carpenter apprentice, name unknown,
In the early 1980s, a 30-year-old Japanese-American woman with a job hunting license from the UBC was eager to become a carpenter. An organization that helped minority workers gain access to construction jobs sent her to a job interview with a major Bay Area contractor known for hiring women. The interview was scheduled off-site after normal hours with the company's apprentice coordinator, a man who for years had served on the board of a pre-apprenticeship program that assisted women's entry into the trades. Instead of being interviewed, she was raped. Concerned that other women would be referred to that contractor, she went with a friend to the women's pre-apprenticeship program to let the staff know what had happened to her. Shortly afterwards, she committed suicide, sending shockwaves to the Bay Area tradeswoman community. The contractor was removed from the program's board, but because women needed jobs and that contractor construction company was doing significant hiring, women continued to be referred there with caution and were urged to go to interviews in pairs, especially if not held at the job site. Asian American tradeswomen would later form a support group of their own, blue-collared Asian women.
I'd like to add that if anyone knows any more about this woman, whose name we can't remember, please talk to me because we want to add it to our story if you have any more information. This happened while I was in San Francisco in the tradeswoman movement, and I remember it, but I don't remember her name. So if you know anybody or if you have any more information, please give it to us. The sisters in the stories we just heard should not have died. These tragedies can and should be prevented. Sadly, their stories are but a few of the thousands that could be told of women and men in construction. Usually we want you to turn off your cell phones, but for this moment, if you can mute the sound but turn on your flashlights or other light app on your phones and join together with these candles to shine many lights in unity. I'm going to see if I can do mine. Well, oh wow, it's amazing. That's so great. I didn't think it would show up. Please, everyone stand. Hold your light high as we acknowledge all workers who have been injured, made sick, or killed on the job with this moment of silence. Thank you. We know many of you have personal connections to someone who died because of their work. Now we invite you to bring their memory to this room by simply speaking their names to the others at your table, or feel free to shout them out if that feels right to you.
Are there more names you'd like to remember? Thank you all so much. That was so beautiful to look out and see all those points of light shining up here. While each story is filled with personal heartbreak, the most powerful way we can honor these sisters and brothers that we're remembering is to carry their memory beyond the emotion and the loss, beyond this conference, into action. Mother Jones championed this with those famous words you see up on the screen behind us now. Please ask yourself now, are you fully committed to the belief that no worker should have to sacrifice life, limb, or health to earn a day's pay? Are you? Let's hear it. Almost every safety and health protection on the books today is there because of workers who joined together in unions to win them. On April 28th and every day, we call for workers to have the right to speak out and demand healthy and safe working conditions without fear of retaliation. Here's what you can do to make a difference in the big picture. Dorothy.
Education. Begin with yourself. Learn and understand your rights as a worker. Educate coworkers, unions, employers, friends and family about safety and health issues for tradeswomen. Demand effective health and safety training through your union and on the job.
Get involved. Work with your employers to find and fix workplace hazards before someone gets hurt. Participate in worksite safety and health programs and safety committees. Defend health and safety protections and workers' rights from industry attacks. Remind your members of Congress of the importance of Workers' Memorial Day, the need for strong safety and health protections, and fight to preserve our freedom to join a union.
So tomorrow is Workers' Memorial Day. You can do something to observe it, either tomorrow or perhaps next year. At your tables and at the back table as you go out, we've provided some resource handouts, AFL-CIO stickers, and other things like that you can take away and share. Take them away, take the stickers away, hand them out where you work. There are resource sheets like this at your table as well, more at the back. You can go online and find out about Workers' Memorial Day events where you live. If you're in the Bay Area, there's a sheet at the back about the one tomorrow. Or you may want to do your own candlelight vigil, moment of silence, or to create a memorial. Whatever you do, remember, your life is more important than your job. And as Mother Jones said, fight like hell for healthy and safe workplaces, to borrow from her, tomorrow on Workers' Memorial Day and every day. Thank you.